Hello, slow parenting family from across the globe. Thank you for joining us again on this fresh edition of the Slow Parenting podcast on Nostalgia Media. My name is Richie Adewusi. Welcome to our show. Welcome. Today we're going to take another episode, another issue, another topic, exacting one still at that, on the issue area of parenting jobs, especially the communication issue area. So today we are going to zero in on the letter L in the T.A.L.K Therapy profile. And the L, like we said in the previous episode, stands for listening. So today we're going to be talking specifically about the need for us to apply the listening skills uh, in our communication relationship with our children. Okay, so welcome, and then please, we keep appealing. We can't stop appealing. Support us. Support this program. Support this project if you find it. If it makes sense to you. If you uh, They're doing great. They're doing well. Subscribe. If you have, thank you. If you haven't, please do. If you have, still, encourage your family and friends and colleagues to subscribe. Engage during the live stream. Engage by sending us um, your messages via email or through any of our social media handles, and we will respond. The important thing here is that we need to keep talking with ourselves and with our children by extension. Okay, we need to keep encouraging ourselves. Nobody has all the answers to everything, but when we share, okay, the problem is half solved, if not solved completely. Okay, substantially, we get to reduce the burden of getting anything done when there are more hands on deck for getting uh, whatever we engage in done. Okay, so we're going into our chat for today on a listening uh, concept, or if you like, ingredient in our communication relationship with our children. Okay, and when we say listening, um, we have aptly titled this episode "Hear the Silence." Because you need to be deep, really. You need to be concentrated, focused, attentive, and present to be able to hear the silent moments and the silence of your children's voices, behaviors, activities, and practices. Okay? Uh, Communication itself is not only about our spoken words. Our nonverbal cues, gestures, mannerisms, you know, form a bulk of um, our communication experiences and expressions. So it's at those moments that we are paying attention, listening, that we hear the silence in their nonverbal cues. But to be able to decode the silence, you needed to ab initio have developed a relationship, a communication relationship with your children from childhood. You know that your child doesn't suddenly just not come out of his or her room, generally doesn't just sit at the dining and is just looking at the meal. The child needed to have been reminded, wait, we have not said the grace. But that's a child that normally before you even say the grace is already reaching out for no wait. But now she's just there. So you would have noticed those things because you know your child. You know your children. And you'll be like, baby, what's going on? Nothing. Nothing speaks volume sometimes, most times. And then because you know that child, maybe you let the meal time go. And then you engage to find out what might have, you know, led to the withdrawn, moody disposition, or sometimes might be aggression. Children, there's no one size fits all in the way we as human beings, as individuals, react to things. The same thing with children. Not all your children are calm in terms of their reaction to different emotions. Some will weep, some might bang the door. Uh, Please don't say I am not applauding any of those behaviors, but we're just narrating, we're just recounting the kind of behavioral traits that or actions, disposition that children may have, individuals, including children, may have when they are going through different kind of emotion. You just find a child who just that's not the normal child, but something is wrong. Okay, just go to one corner. Is there? Something is wrong. If you hadn't been paying attention, ab initio, you might not see any different. You just going, well, oh, the house is quiet. Oh, thank God. No, the house is, something is not right. So there's no thank God that everywhere is quiet. Everywhere is quiet means something is wrong. Could mean something is wrong. Okay. And you, of course, engage by approaching the child. It's not every time that you expect your children to approach you, even when you have good communication relationship with your children. It's not everything that happens, even the ones that would normally approach you. It's not everything that happens that they will come. There are sometimes, because of the nature of what it is that would have happened, they feel embarrassed, they feel ashamed, they're afraid of coming to you. You should hear the silent dispositions, and then, of course, engage at the appropriate time. And you're likely going to find out what the issues are, and then hold your breath. It might not be something pleasant, but what's important is your child. The withdrawn disposition will be out of fear, out of embarrassment, out of shame for whatever it is that would have happened. So you brace yourself when you are engaging. The important thing is to have that child or such children get out of those moods, and you find agreeable solutions to whatever the issues might have been. I I know of a particular situation with a family, and the child had a challenge and was afraid of, you know, was close with the mother, very close, but wasn't sure didn't know what was going to happen if she went ahead to narrate her experience with the mother. In in the course of her moodiness, and the mother was like, "This is not your baby. What's going on?" I'm doing nothing. And then one day, the mother decided to, okay, now you can always talk to me. Yes, Mommy, and I can always talk to you, but I can't talk to you about this. Oh, there is something. Yes, mommy. The daughter went ahead to narrate what the issue. It was the mother that started crying. I mean, real. And the other one was like, yeah, her disappointment was that much, the mother, okay? The mother cried and cried and cried. And this was a narrative given while both of them were having a discussion over the issue. Of course, the mother sought some third party professional intervention. But she said she was so, she was so beaten up that she couldn't just think of that. It was like she was the one that had experienced this, the incidents and the situations, and that she was really concerned about what her daughter would have been going through all the time she had been silent, that she had been noticing how she would have suffered, and then the fear of getting her informed, and those are the reasons why she couldn't. Wow, you went through all of this and you couldn't talk to me. Yeah, it could be that intense. Meanwhile, some other mothers cry. What kind of cry? It should be to descend on the girl, and then you will get no solution. We're not applauding any misdeeds, any misbehavior, but if the focus is to rescue, to help, to support the child to normalcy, as, as close to normalcy as possible, depending on whatever the issues would have been, we focus on the child. The incident, the issues would be still be there. Life is important, needs to be supported, be sustained, be encouraged. And then you face the issues together. There are consequences. There are always time to talk about. That's not the time to say, this is what I've been saying to you. Do you see yourself now? No, that's not the time. That's not the time. But that mother, had applied her listening skills to listen to the silence from her daughter, that was usually a vibrant, vocal child. And they were able to, together, as a family, get to some kind of closure, some kind of solution to the challenge that they now saw as a challenge on their family, for their family, not a challenge, because you know your child, you know what that child would have been open to or not open to. You should know. And then you interrogate to, how did this happen? And you back your child. Not senselessly, not just emotionally, it's my child, anything. No, but you look at the appropriate time, you now discuss what, while all this was going on, why didn't you get to us? Why didn't I didn't know what to do? Well, You've heard the child. You go for the solution. You've listened, you've heard the silence, but you invited the child by interrogating, by intervening. What's going on? As you inviting the child to let the child know there's space for expression, for voicing eventually that let the child know that it's okay. Yeah, regardless of whatever it is, you got to talk about it. Life got to go on. Reassure, encourage, and then have the discussion, and then work on a solution collectively, no matter how challenging the situation might be. The important thing is your child, your children, their lives, their well-being, and yours as well. Okay? We're having a whole lot of community engagement already, but we said we would go through at least the background of what our story is today, and then, well, not just today, for each of the episodes. Then we would engage the community, and of course, remember we also have a very special video for you for each of those episodes. Okay, uh, today is not anything different. Okay, it is easy to hear noise, really. Oh, they are talking, they are playing loudly, uh, but truly listening, that's where love begins. Really, that's where love begins. That's where care begins. That's where attention begins. That's where parenting really begins. Because if you are the only one talking, most of us are guilty of this. I was at some point. Um, hey, I haven't finished. The child shuts up. Okay, you will not let me say anything. So go ahead. It's your show. I was like that at some point. If you come across any of my children, they'll probably tell you so. Yeah, but I learned to listen, ask questions, and then listen. Okay, for responses. Listen and then ask questions about why you are not talking, about why is there silence everywhere, about why is nobody reaching out to me, why is nobody playing with me, why, reach out, why is nobody, the living room is so dead. Why have you guys been all confined to your rooms this past few days? There are reasons behind all of those things. Why is nobody interested in going shopping? Why is something is happening that has overshadowed the excitement of going shopping, of jumping out when they hear you enter? There's something that make them not want to look at your face. They feel bad. It's either they feel disappointed, or they feel embarrassed, or they feel ashamed, or they're angry over something. You need to notice those nonverbal cues by your listening to their silent speeches. Okay? You need to. And when you then listen, don't go crazy with or about what you might find out, like that mother. The incident was really, really heartbreaking, but then her response was to cry for herself and her daughter. I've also seen some other scenarios where the outcome of such discoveries, of such incidents, is, I mean, increasing the young woman's confusion by physically assaulting the child. It doesn't help. It increases the confusion. It increases the burden of guilt, of shameful, of, you know, it bashes the sense of self-worth of such children, male or female, depending on what issue. Yes, there's been enough time to let the child know that this isn't what all of us are looking forward to. But find ways of communicating that in a constructive way, not a destructive way. Okay? Somebody says, why be specific about what the issues are? What the issues are might be specific. There could be a myriad of uh, situation scenarios that could warrant those kind of situations. So there's no point in going into any particular one. A child could get raped. It could be an issue of rape. It could be an issue of a female child getting pregnant. It could be an issue of a child going to take what doesn't belong to him or her, and then the issues. It could be a whole lot of things. Okay. But the important thing is that the child becomes withdrawn out of either embarrassment or anger or shame or disappointment in himself, herself. You have to help that child to come out of those situations, and then you deal with the situation themselves. Help the children first to recover, and then you okay. See now, this is where we are now. These are the outcomes. It's not, this is what I've been saying to you all through. See yourself now. It's so easy to get tempted to say those, to have those kind of conversations that respond, but they're not helpful. You could say the same things in a different way at the appropriate times. Well, this means that in case of the girl child, the young woman is pregnant. This means that, well, there's no school for so. This means that you're going to have a baby. This means now you're going to be a mother without being prepared to be one. Then all the dreams of doing that, yeah. First, you might not be the one detailing, though. You ask, okay, do you know what this means for going forward now? The child knows, might know, might be the reasons for being withdrawn, might be the reasons for being embarrassed, might be the reasons for being ashamed, apart from disappointing you. Okay? But how you handle such situations, from seeing their pain in silence and then intervening, could make or mar the child. Certain things are not end of life by themselves. They create difficult situations, challenging situations and circumstances for everybody involved. But it's not the end of life. So let's focus on the continuity of life and living. But of course, letting people have an understanding of the consequences of their action, taking responsibility. Again, reminding everyone of your culture, your tradition, your family values, your etiquette, and then the boundaries that you had all agreed on. But you see, this is why we had so discussion at so time to say these are the best ways for us to behave or relate with our friends, our associates. These are the reasons why we said don't try not to go to visit your friends when their parents are not around, when, well, nobody else is around except you people. Try not to entertain your friends too when we are not around, when nobody else is around. Okay. And this part of the reasons why I didn't want to zero in on the issue of uh, teenage or whatever premarital pregnancies and all of that. That's not the only challenge that could break a child up. No, it's not. It could just be not doing well in a particular program, exam, team event, competition. You let the child know that that particular incident or those particular situation or incidents are just some bend in the road. The road is still very much ahead, but it might now take a little bit more, uh, might become a little bit more challenging now to, yes, don't understate the challenges that will be associated with the outcomes of certain incidents. You didn't do well in this example. It might be that you repeat the class, my juniors. Well, you need to go to school still. Okay, you have to change school for me. Ah, mm, that would affect so many other things about it's part of life. You, you didn't do well for this reason, that reason. You have all come to see with the child, agree on what could have led to that kind of performance. I agree, the child will see. And the child is requesting, I don't want to be in the same class with my juniors. Well, unfortunately, that's life. You are not in the school for them. You are not in a race with them, you are a race against yourself. So stay in school, let that even be the tonic. So you don't you go to another school and you feel that, well, when anything happens again, okay, they could always change my school. I go to another school. No, stay there. Those issues that you feel will be embarrassing be the reasons for which you need to now get off your butt and do things differently so that you get to where you need to be at the end of the school session. I had taken such decisions before over my children. I know parents who have. And we're encouraging you to don't get into the habit of, okay, so that the child does not get embarrassed, you get ashamed that, okay, let me remove. No, you are building a time bomb. That child will feel that the thing is just to change anything. Throughout life, that might be how that child will handle issues. Work, relationships, and okay, it doesn't work, just change it. No, there are things you can change. There are things that changing is not the solution. There are things that the solution, the change that needs to happen is from within you. Let the child know that. Changing your school, changing your neighborhood, city, even if you can afford it, it's not the solution. The solution is you didn't follow XYZ steps to be where you need to be. So now forget about whoever is in class with you. Focus on yourself and your own studies. Okay? Oh, now my friends are going to be laughing at me. I have a baby. Well, I'm not happy. You saw how much I was crying. Yeah, I'm not. But yeah, now you have two people to live for. Okay, I'm living for you. And that's what led to part of what led to that much crying. Yep. So you now also have to live for yourself. Now I have to live for three people. You know, well, I have to live for two people. You and, well, my grandchild. Mom, oh yes, that's it. You just made me a grandmother. That's the story, in case you didn't think about it initially. Yes, those are hard discussions to make, to get into. And in the talk therapy, we said from I think this is episode 11 of season 6. I think we said, and we started the talk therapy. This is L 2, 3 episodes away, which is the T. We explained what caused my writing the talk therapy in the very first place. The talk therapy was very much about sexual and reproductive health issues, communicating around sexual and reproductive health issues with your children. As being the chief reproductive health education communicator or teacher or health educator of reproductive health educator to your children. Because one, you know your culture, you know your tradition, you know your family values, you know your etiquette. So you are the person in the best position to educate your children around and about sexuality issues. And I wrote that book at the height of the HIV and AIDS pandemic. Yeah. So, and that's why I'm going into the last episode where we say sexuality is a big issue. And it is a very, very big issue. It's not all that it is about life, but it's a very big issue. Yeah, we've talked about to a child that didn't do well in an exam and then said, okay, can you change my school? No, that's a challenge. That's an issue. It's important as well. But there is no, well, life, physical, we are looking at in human form, lifelong outcome from your maybe not doing well in a sessional exam for one stage of your school, but pregnancy leaves a life exhibit. And for the time of HIV and AIDS, we used to tell parents and young people too then that pregnancy as challenging, teenage pregnancy, premarital pregnancy as challenging as it is in the face of HIV and AIDS, it's actually also maybe even a lesser challenge than being infected with the virus. Then we used to say there's no delivery, there's no carriage. Okay, and now in case we've not noticed, or for those of us following global trends, right now in the US, it's reported that I saw a YouTube report that about 6 or 7 US states, there's now a major outbreak of HIV, new HIV infections. And if we also and then the young people, it's also amongst the young people, heavy among young people. And then you hear some part of the reports, okay, some of them are saying, well, it's not a big deal, that would always get treated. Treatment for HIV infection is expensive. The cost profile was mitigated, the effect of the cost profile was mitigated by the intervention of organizations like USAID, which the present US administration now has dismantled. And globally, individuals who are dependent on subsidized cost for antiretroviral therapies, or what used to be called, or what is called the ART, antiretroviral therapy. Individuals who had lived for years dependent on subsidized cost of drugs, they're not left on their own. And then, of course, let's get this straight. Let's get this right. Of course, what this means is that part of what those drugs did was to suppress the virulence, of the viral activities in the system. Human beings will be involved in sexual relationships, whether anybody likes it or not. It's human nature. And it's a challenge that this was and is an infection condition, or if you like, situation that is embedded much more in people's sexual habits and preferences and orientations. It's not a mystery. It's not surprising why in those states as reported, it's amongst the rising profile of the virus, of new infection, is amongst young people. Young people are mostly sexual active. They're the most sexual active portion of any population in any place. And that is not good news for what's going to happen with the whole AIDS issues going forward. Okay, so in terms of how does this relate to this talk here? It relates to this talk here big time. You need to know what your children are doing. You need to hear what they're saying, vocalizing, and the ones that they are not vocalizing. You need to intervene for so many reasons, including what we just profiled just now. There are challenges that, well, you confront them headlong, and then everybody go along their gone with their lives. And there are challenges that live with people for the rest of their lives. These are the reasons for which it's important as parents, you pay attention. Don't say, well, when he's ready, will come and tell me. There are things they will never get ready to come and tell you. And they will start trying all sorts. Their friends start, third parties start advising, don't worry, I will take you somewhere. And at the end of the day, it all comes back on your table when things get out of hand. So you don't need to wait. You must not wait to let things get out of hand before you engage your children, especially when you notice that they are not being themselves in terms of how they are relating and communicating with you. If you listen hard enough, you will hear their silence. Okay? So at this point, we are going to take a break, and you watch our video for this episode. And when we return, we dive straight into community engagement. We'll respond to so many questions and comments that have already been sent across to me here. Okay? See you at the other side of the video. Don't go away.
Dear parents, dear parents, watch and listen closely, because your children may be speaking even when they are silent. Listening is not just hearing words, it is about leaning in to understand. It is about creating space for honesty without fear. Many parents speak well, few parents listen deeply. If your children hide things from you or seem more comfortable talking to others, this may be your moment to learn the lost language. Here is how to create connections through listening. 1. Invite their voices into the room. Children open up when they know their voices matter. This builds trust and emotional openness. 2. Do not interrupt with solutions. Fixing too quickly can shut down conversations. Letting them finish helps them feel understood. 3. Make room for uncomfortable truths. As Dr. Richie Adewusi puts it in T.A.L.K Therapy, if you are the only one doing the talking in your home, you are building a time bomb. Listening patiently can prevent future regrets. 4. Be willing to adjust, not just advise. Sometimes your children do not need correction, they need clarity. This shows them that their words are powerful and respected. 5. Stay present after the talk ends. Follow-up shows you were not just listening for a moment. This builds consistency, which strengthens their sense of safety. Your children are not just looking for answers, they are searching for someone who will listen long enough to understand. Share this video with a parent who could use a gentle reminder to listen to their children. Comment, like, follow. And subscribe to the Slow Parenting podcast for more insightful parenting videos. Not just hacks, but heart.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. We're going to go straight into, I hope you found the video useful, you found it interesting, and it contains some things that would make you get to have have it shared with your friends, your colleagues, and your family members. Please share generously, okay? Don't keep good things to yourself. If you did or do find the video interesting, share. You could download the video on its own by itself, from our YouTube channel, the Nostalgia Media YouTube channel, Slow Parenting. Go there, you could download that particular video. You can share it as many times to as many people that you feel it will be useful to. Thank you so much for doing that. And then also encourage them to please subscribe to this channel, and then of course engage, like us, follow us. Thank you so much. We're going to take the very first contribution here. This community member says, "Our parents are expected to listen attentively to their children all the time." Yes, yes. Listening attentively wouldn't mean you are not doing anything. Listening attentively means that you could be in the kitchen cooking with the children or the child around. You're paying attention. You are doing something. You're listening for what the child is saying. Okay, and the question continues here. I said, even if their children are talking about something unimportant, everything that comes out of the mouth of a child is important. Pay attention. That's where the issue of hearing the silence comes in. Everything your child says has importance. I saw a video. I can't remember whether it's in this meeting or another meeting. I was sharing it. I said, I saw a video. A child, it's actually an advert. A child is painting and is asking the mother, "Mom, do crabs have eyelids?" The mother looked at that. Where did that come from? Of course, the child might be drawing a crab. Might not remember. You know. No, eyelashes, not eyelids. Eyelashes. Crabs have eyelashes. It sounds funny, but that child is paying attention to details. He's drawing. And you as parent, maybe it has not even occurred to you to check the crabs to know whether there's anything called eyelashes in the crab. Yes, there is nothing unimportant about what your child says or mumbles. Please pay attention here. Sometimes intentionally descend into their world, especially when they are much younger. Okay, that you find it difficult to really hear what they are saying, but you only can decode those things by paying attention to what they are doing. Oh, you are trying to put this into your, okay, you help. It's this way, it's that way. You help. You build that communication relationship gets built, from that stage. You continue. From that point that you couldn't express verbally, the things, but you just see what it's trying to do. Oh, is this what yeah, you help. Next time you will say, when it begins to talk and speak and can put words together to form sentences, make sense and all of that, it will tell you. But it started with you with you decoding the sign language and the activities and get into that world and say, okay, this is it. So there is nothing your child is saying, a child is saying that's unimportant. It's in those moments, at those moments that you hear the little talks with other children and like, wow, you guys discussed that? Yes, mom. John always like, oh, John, maybe you don't want to continue in that group. And you point out the reasons against your culture, your tradition, your family values. If you don't listen, that inconsequential to, well, anybody that's what's it talk, the children's talk. Children's talks are important talks. Yes, very important. You need to listen and then respond accordingly, appropriately. Okay. The next one here says, there are times when listening to our children may reveal things about their character or behavior that are hard to accept. I just shared an incident here where a mother had to interrogate a child that was not talking, withdrawn, and all of that. And what she found out made her to burst out crying, not just shedding tears. I mean, really the way she expressed it, both of them expressed the response of her mother, who was like, I broke down. I wept. I cried. I'm like, my baby, yes, that might come. It might not be for everybody. We don't pray this for anybody. But then those moments of life happen. You get to hear them. That's why your parents, who would the child, remember that your children should be able to come to you to express the soft and the hard things. If they have to seek third-party ears, the result from those third-party influences will still be seen by you at some point. It might not be palatable what the outcome might be. So yes, they'll be hard to accept. Yeah, they're hard to accept, but unfortunately, we have to deal with them. I just shared some here. Okay? And you continue to say how, okay, this is actually another one. How do parents respond when they hear something from their children that, or is the same question? How do parents respond when they hear uh, something from their children that challenges their own beliefs and expectations? I just shared one mother's immediate response, and I also intoned what might have been the response of some other mothers, maybe to beat the child, maybe to, okay, come and show me, come and take me to this place. Yeah, there's no one size fits all about how people respond. What's important is to focus on the welfare of your child. That's what's important. Focus on the welfare of your child, which ultimately is the welfare of your family and of yourself. Somehow they are interlocked, interrelated. Okay? What might have happened or what would happen, what could happen, will not be pleasant at all. But especially if what you are seeing is a result, if what you're hearing is that happened, not it's going to. If it's a narrative, this is what I've been, this people have been stressing me, been threatening me. Oh, wow, baby, come, sit down, sit down. No, calm down. Yeah. What? Well, nothing has happened. Okay, now that's still at a stage where you can say, okay, look, involve the authorities, the school, and whoever. But when there is already a result, okay, you face the result, face your child first. It's hard to take that your child, your teenage daughter who is in high school is pregnant. It's hard to take. It's hard to take that your teenage son who's in primary school or your preteen child who's in primary school who is in is involved in a drug gang or in a violent gang, the only gang thing of any type. Okay, in Nigeria, it's a cult, it's a gang. Okay, but wait. It's my friend. He's been trying to push me. They say I should drink something. Oh, okay. What? Wait, calm down. Drink. Did you drink anything? No. I don't. They're just disturbing me. Okay. At that point, it's still there are two steps you can take. It's hard to take. This is not what you send the child to school to do, or the neighborhood, or the church, yeah, or the religious organization, whichever one it is. So your focus should be to protect your child. And then by extension, get relevant authorities, individuals involved in trying to help other children who that information you just got might impact on, might impact on. Okay? They're hard things. We hear them, but we have to deal with them. Life itself is hard. Okay? Um, 2 Sundays ago, I love to cook. Okay, I run, if you like, a cuisine uh, appreciation meetup here. So I cook Nigerian, what we call pepper soups in Nigeria, and I invite people to come taste exotic Nigerian pepper soups. And 2 Sundays ago, it's every fortnight. I do that spring all through summer. I've been doing that for the last 4 summers now. This is the fourth summer. 2 Sundays ago, a young man was eating my goat meat pepper soup. And he said, Uncle, he said, he said, Uncle, why is there bone in my soup? First, last year eating goat meat, there has to be bone. Yeah, we some of us, we remove everything from that could be any issue for our children, and they think life is just that. No, I said to him, yes, it's goat meat. Goat comes with bone. Life is not all soft. Life has bone in it. Yes. And they laughed, and he went, yes, yes. We must tell our children the truth. Don't let them believe that, well, no, that's not, it's not how it is. It's all good. It's all smooth. No, life is not all smooth. No matter how much you have, life is not all smooth. It's not, you can't pay, your money can't buy everything. It's not possible. Your money could buy the drug, your money could and cannot, would not, might not take care of the effects of that drug on your child. Depending on whichever society you live in, you operate from, you have things from the health of that child to the law. Your money might not be able to save that child from going to jail. Okay? So don't worry, we have money, we can buy anything. No, don't solve everything. So life is not all about meat without bone. There's bone in life. Let your children know that. And that's why I try to let that child, young person know. Of course, deliberately, I could have removed all the bones. But no, but pepper soup is not, goat meat pepper soup, no bone inside. That's not goat meat. Okay? That's not goat meat. But where I come from. All right? Nigeria. Let's go to the next one. How do you listen to children who you know aren't being truthful, but without pushing them away? They are not being truthful, maybe because they are not being truthful because maybe what you know about the child and the child's normal mannerism or about the issue area. Let your child know that what might be going on might not be the truth. encourage the child maybe to tell you the truth. Don't, they say, without pushing them away. No, don't respond in such a way that it doesn't even tell you whether the truth or the half truth or the non-truth at all. Keep the communication, keep letting the child know that part of your family value is to be truthful. But I don't think you're telling me the truth about this situation. I'm still here. Know that when you decide to let me know what exactly is going on, I'm here for you. Okay? How should parents respond when a child discloses sensitive information? We dealt with that a bit earlier. There's no one size fits all. Depends on who the parent is. There are people who will scream. There's somebody who will cry like that. There's somebody who will descend on the child. There are so many. But please, how should you respond? First of all, be grateful that the child came to you. Be grateful you are the first point of contact for the child to bring that information to, and use what you probably would have been communicating about: your tradition, your culture, the legal codes of where you live, your family values, your etiquette, to respond to say, okay, this is not us. But well, if this has happened, well, this is not what we planned for, what we hoped for, whether for you or for ourselves, for our family. But we're here now. What are we going to do? We'd have to find a solution. You go into what the hard parts or hard facts about whatever that sensitive information is and deal with them. Okay? Here's what are the strategies for creating an environment for open communication? Be available. That's part of what we're talking about listening today. Listening to the silence. Not just listening to what they say, also listen to what they're not saying. You can only be good at listening to what they're not saying if you have developed a communication relationship with them from scratch. Okay? Yeah. When a child tries to get the parent's attention, but the parent is distracted and does not listen, does this have negative effect on the child's development? Yes. The child might be withdrawn. The child might be drawn to seeking attention and listening ears from third parties. What he might get from those third parties might not be exactly helpful to that child's development. So, what's the solution? Be there for your children. Listen to them. Listen to even the stupid talks, the one you call stupid talk. Listen. Listen to the silly talks. And respond in a silly way too sometimes. Find the funny parts, funny aspects of what they're trying to say to you or what they're not even saying to you. Make jokes out of what could be made joke out of. And then be serious about things, but be serious in a supportive way, not to push your child or your children away. Be helpful. Engage. Okay? Thank you so much. that's much you can take on our show today, the Slow Parenting Podcast on Nostalgia Media. It's still the same time every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The time will soon change, but it has not changed yet. And 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. We're here. If you couldn't join us on the live stream or you come across this video or any of our videos on YouTube any other time and you want to get back to us with any parenting issues, don't be shy. Go to the description. You'll find our email addresses and other contact information there. Please be free to send me a mail, send your question, send your contribution. If you feel we are talking nonsense, please say so also. Okay, go ahead, send to us. We'll listen, we'll respond, and we'll keep engaging. Thank you so very much for being part of our show this episode. We look forward to seeing you join us. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Engage, follow us, like this stream, and share this video with your friends. Bye-bye.